Hello, my souls, and welcome back to Call of Cthulhu on our Spooktober special. Um, Also, this is by far one of the most brightly lit horror games I've ever played. Oh. Hmm. Hello, Robert. Hello, Andy. Hello, Heather. Nom. Your brain is in the clouds. I mean, so is mine, kind of. Just not in the same way as well, not in the same way that I usually have it. Your brain is going burr. Hey, Ramon. Oh, woo. I mean, hey, Burb. If the Nuggies are hungry, there's Chinese food in the kitchen. They are more than welcome to have some. Is broccoli beef, so it's beef and trees. With a nice Szechuan sauce, too. Well, Szechuan sauce with, or Szechuan and light soy. There we go. Little less ambient lighting. Hello, Robert. Nom. Nom, all of the faces. Uno momento, one of my wires is caught on something. Alright, there we go. Now, let's go see about playing Yahtzee with somebody's giggly bits. Oh. Biscuits and gravy are usually a good combo. Anyways, Heather, there's a what now? Like, I could not understand what you were saying. Because all that reads as to me is there was a stout smell from a foam can, the black it smelled bad. Which that sentence doesn't make sense to me. A spray can that smelled bad. Was it spray paint? Like, I could understand if it smelled bad if it was something like spray paint.
Where do they keep their sleeping pills? Scopolamine F. There's no such thing. They've created derivatives. My new friend's sleeping pills.
Ooh. How could you see me again? I was behind a fucking wall that you can't see through, you shit fuckle. Yeah, like, he somehow sees through walls now. I'm fucking loading last checkpoint. Fuck that. Fuck that with a spoon. Like, for some reason, that fucker can see through walls. Yeah, straight up he can see
Where
through
do
walls.
they keep their sleeping pills? My new friend's sleeping pills. Scopolamine, morphine, opium. Nothing but common drugs.
Yeah, how can he fucking see through walls? It makes no fucking sense how he can suddenly see through every fucking wall. Now watch, he'll see me even now. Like, he'll probably see me right now. See? Even though he's not even looking at me. Game's fucking bugged the hell out, I swear. Like, he'll probably be able to see me again right here.
I've got what you want.
Show me!
There. And remember, they don't come for free.
Don't you worry, you'll have your diversion. Go on now, go hide yourself. The crows! They're everywhere! Make them go away! Help! 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 The birds! They're attacking!
That nonsense again.
Nurse! Nurse! Help me! Help me!
Shut up. Dr. Fuller warned us it was...
What carnage?
Yeah, dude somehow still had...
Have I activated anything?
Guy could somehow still see me. Through a fucking wall. While I was crouched. That was bullshit. Searching the cellar of Riverside Institute, Pierce entered a room that first took for a morgue, but the advanced state of decay of the corpses lay about the place quickly made him realize that he was wrong. Nothing could justify the presence of such a carnal house in a hospital. Putrid smell and total absence. Apparently I'm stable. Still don't know how he could somehow see me every time. Still don't understand how he could see me through every fucking wall unless it's straight up. He couldn't see through half those walls last time I played.
It's done. Now for the others.
The red one, I believe I've already activated. Swear to God, every time he says a woo.
Theoretically, I've only got one lever to push. This machine seems to consume a great deal of electricity. I can still increase the load.
Okay. Oh, woo. So how is everybody out there in Chatland at the moment? Oh, win. Well, that's how you do that. Okay. Note to staff. See, because this incident caused significant damage to infrastructure, putting stop to current experiments. This is unacceptable. For now, the wheel to operate the gas stock. Okay.
The door is blocked on the other side. All the levers are activated.
Good to see you guys are doing good for the most part. I mean, hey, Burb, I'm kind of there with you in a little bit of pain, but not, like, overly so.
That should draw the attention of the guards. I should hide.
Damn it! What's going on? Is there somebody? Gotta let Fuller know. Can't blame us.
Jesus.
Doctor, is that you?
Don't you worry about the doctor. Right now, he'll have plenty to keep him busy with his precious machine. It gives us time to get away. I'll undo you.
Get away? Get away where? I can't go anywhere. It'll find me, like it found me here. You're mistaken about the beast. Don't stay with me, or you'll end up the same way.
What did they do to you?
You're Sanders, aren't you? I heard you from my cell. What did they do to you? What does Fuller want with you?
The doctor? You think it's the doctor who scares me? The doctor wants to heal me. But he's the one who's crazy. He wants to restore my sight. He wants to give me back my eyes. And yet I told him that I didn't want him. I do not want to see it anymore. The real culprit is Sarah. Her and her accursed paintings.
You're kidding me. You're talking about Sarah Hawkins.
Yeah.
The one and only. The legendary. There is no artist more enlightened or cursed than Sarah Hawkins.
In her office, I saw signs of a ritual, perhaps an invocation. These things, that's what makes you say she's cursed.
You're wrong. It was not an invocation, but a revocation. But she failed. And that's what counts.
What's going on this island?
I'm so sorry. We should never have met.
What are you talking about?
Destiny! It has trapped you. No, don't let it see you, or you won't be able to escape it. Don't look at it. That's how it finds you.
What finds me?
Sarah Hawkins' visitor. The Chandler.
Sanders, pull yourself together.
Without her, it's no longer possible to save me. No!
Sanders! What? I gotta... What? Okay. This is insane. What killed him? Damn! The gas! Oh. My head.
Later. We need to move on.
Oh, whoa. Aw. Hey, Johnson, that kinda sucks. Ooh. First playthrough, this is getting weird, but I like it.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
I'm apparently a professional in the occult.
Toying with their lives.
Who knows what he could do if what you say is true?
That is precisely why I'll find evidence.
Fine. Do what you want. I'm just trying.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
Well then, let's find out.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us.
Like how you died.
What happened?
Sarah Hawkins was the object of a cult.
I saw people in hoods. They had stolen Mrs. Hawkins' paintings.
Who are you talking about? Why would they do such a thing?
I don't know, but they were a threat. They've taken over the caves under the mansion. They were performing some kind of ritual. One of the entryways was under Charles Hawkins' office.
We suspect Mr. Hawkins of being involved.
My patients believe the old islanders used to worship primitive sea gods. Could they be the focus of the cult?
Am I hearing this right?
So you think me gullible?
No, not at all.
What else did you uncover, Mr. Pierce?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
He called him the Shambler.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
The ordeals you have gone through have left their mark, but you still manage as best as you can. You keep your mind busy in order to chase away doubt and painful memory. You still have some way to go. Who knows where your mind could lead you along the path of insanity.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
Oh. Night, Andy. Num num. Sanders' residence. Pierce, Colton, and Bradley decided to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, art collector and friend of the painter who died right in front of Pierce. Detective goes to his house in order to... I'm wondering if I can get some of my sanity back.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
You must not feel...
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason.
Oh.
He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute. And right before your eyes. Did you not do anything to help him?
What was my eloquence? Because at 3, it's a bad idea to test it. Wasn't me who sent it.
With all due respect, Mrs. Sanders, it was you who sent him to this asylum, not me.
How dare you? What was I supposed to do, Detective? Upon seeing such a brilliant mind disintegrate in this way, waking with a start every night with him shrieking in horror, petrified before this accursed painting, unable to look away, until he managed to gouge his eyes out with his own hands. I should have listened to Dr. Fuller, let him intern him months ago. If I am to be condemned, it is because I did not act sooner.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did he speak to you of a shambler?
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives. Did she really care for him after all?
I acknowledge receipt of a letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body. At the moment of his internment, you signed a discharge allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. Fuller is the true issue.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists. A house of artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
I need to stop second-guessing myself. I wanted to put the blame on Fuller. Should have said that Fuller was the real issue here.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
Ah!
The Shambler. I need to see it. Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
So, being shaken, my mind can slip and I can see things.
A strange Amerindian pendant. I could use one of those.
Found these sleeping pills in Sanders' house. Were they prescribed to Francis Sanders or to Irene?
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Begging you to give up all hope of ever owning this cursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning for you, please spare me the weight of the guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend. Forget the shambler.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Oh no. My sanity slipped even further. Here's read an ancient treaty, the Malleus Bestiarium. Bestiary makes an inventory of numerous creatures from the occult. Ah, good lord.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Oof.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
What are you doing?
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say? Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Oof.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
can understand why she's so upset with it, too. Lost her husband, and for what?
Go take a hike, Detective.
The whale and the cod. Where, oh where is that painting? Only thing I can do. Ah. Oh no. Obsessed with the cult.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Nope. That's never a good thing to see. Oh. God. Ooh. So a lot of
The
these
man
things are straight
transformed
up
an entire
terrifying.
wing of his manor into an art gallery.
That's the one I need to look at. I want to investigate some more, though.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Aren't just old weapons, man. The weapons of the cult.
The public entrance to the gallery.
Yeah, this guy must have been pretty fucking rich. See you.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Right on time, Nexus.
What the hell was that?
Hi, I'm dead.
I can't even touch it.
Yep. So,
What
light
the hell was
will...
that? I can't even touch it.
Oh, it's gonna be one of them games. Sanders and Sarah were close. The Shambler is a paint. I'd like to know what I'm supposed to do here. Am I supposed to find that dagger? Far from the possession of the talents of Sarah Hawking, Snyder drew a dagger with a tortured form down to the smallest detail.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Wrong dagger. I need to find the dagger from the from the clue. Twin blade teeth. The symbol of an eye.
What the hell was that?
Ooh, balls! Well, fuck you too. Very much does look like a Demogorgon, doesn't it?
What the hell was that?
It's gotta be in this one. In this room.
Damn. This dagger looks different.
Well, now we know which fucking dagger it is.
What the hell was that? This dagger looks different.
Oh, woo! Woo! Hi, Jackie.
I can't even touch it.
Do I have to stab the painting? Oh, night, Jackie. Num num. Yep.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
No, I just drank a bit too much.
It's nothing. I think I just drank too much.
That goes without saying. If you can't tell the difference between reality and fiction, then you're in real trouble.
You knew about the monster?
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
And you give me this information free of charge?
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Well, that was terrifying. That's never good. Holy fuckle.
Where's the bookseller? Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
Fuck. I'm assuming my sanity is gone.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Free of Darkwater. Oh. Whenever I find one of those I can hide in here kind of cabinets, I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a fight of some kind. Handbook on anatomy and dissection. Okay. So I'm now a professional in both medical and occult.
What happened here?
Handbook of Anatomy and Dissection Book 1.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seemed like amateur work.
Okay.
No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then? What killed all these animals? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the
Called Eye again.
Charles Hawkins? What's happening to Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
Okay, everything's getting fucky now.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
It seems
What link
like
did
it.
he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Key of Aurelia files. The key that bears the Elder Sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a silver chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star of and the branch, whose purpose is to push back the forces of the Great Old Ones, were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. In press cuttings. The mention that mention the misdemeanor. The date of the robbery coincides with the last Hawkins trip to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows of its true purpose. The true purpose of the artifact. Try to find out.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Page seems to be hidden here. It's possible to read. If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother if she still is in this world. The following message is of a capital importance. Whoever reads these lines, it demonstrates acuity and sharpness as mine, and hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are in cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of imagination. And indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say genius, was to match my intelligence and find the combination to the safe, I would ask they deliver the contents into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of University. Miskatonic University. The contents of the safe are not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor suffer from your actions.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never heard. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Drake cylinders 2 and 3.
Kind of chalice.
The goblet seems to be very ancient. Be made of gold and decorated with precious stones. Rubies and sapphires make up a special motif.
Things are not looking good.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
The chalice of knowledge.
2, 3. Okay, so hold on. Near the crack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go listen to the next one.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
The Queen has little protection.
4. Aw. Alright. Snuggles for the burb. Also, nom nom beep.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his... What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake... What did Drake say about this... Drake talked about a particular... So these are the volumes that... What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that... What did Drake say about... Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this? Drake talked about a particular volume.
3, 4, 5, 6. There another one.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Wait.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
There we are. Oof. Riverside Institute. On the attempt, Pierce opened the bookseller safe and was to find what the latter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. Book covered in human skin lied inside, irresistibly attracted to the it attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. Oof! Projection is a fucking thing. Holy God. Why? By the way, hey Nexus, you still there?
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Very well. I'll examine him. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body. An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects. 30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary
He's turning
knowledge
into a squid.
to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Has something in his belly.
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
He's turning into a fucking squid.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
His body is mute.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients. Provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
These are alarming symptoms. If we don't act, he'll die.
Duh.
Do you believe that? I'm not as convinced, you see. I even think this man has a strong chance of completely healing from his ailments.
No, Doctor. This patient isn't himself anymore. He's dying.
Really? What do you mean by isn't himself?
He's changing. His physical characteristics, they are more animal than human now.
Yeah.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Kinda wish
Was
I
that
could
a
shoot
threat?
you.
What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Hidden files for.
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep Mum.
Chronic insomnia. Like half the island. This place draws you in and never lets you go.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
Elizabeth? You all right? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
I go through her.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
So, those are effectively sweat boxes. Trying to find as much information as I can. Cool.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find— Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
Okay.
The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
Sorry, but nobody can take anything until I finish the inventory. Please, the fewer interruptions there are, the faster.
Okay. Lady, I was trying to
Where did
close
my
the door for you.
fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
Ethan,
Marie,
what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
Tell me your symptoms.
I have headaches. And I can't sleep.
Do you suffer from insomnia?
No. Look, I don't want you to laugh at me.
Ethan, if you don't trust me, then who?
I have nightmares. They keep me awake every night. It seems stupid, I know, but they're terrible.
Actually, you're not the only one.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see. It's like I'm turning mad.
So many people have this affliction. It's like an epidemic.
Do you think it might be related to Fuller's work?
I don't know yet, but I will figure all this out. Everyone in Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
We don't have any medication left.
Oh, there's no excuse then. I should let you work.
Take care, Ethan.
You too, Marie.
I don't get why they have us waiting so long. Almost no patients here.
Dr. Colden.
It's a quiet little town. Days go by, steady as ever. I wanted more for myself, but
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Keep taking care of us.
You did good work. The tranquilizer is kicked in. Now you can disinfect and bandage his wounds.
Thank you, Doctor. And as to his weight loss?
I'll prescribe an antifungal treatment for his dysgeusia. In the meantime, feed him intravenously.
It'll be done.
Another insomniac. I should find the cause for such a widespread trouble. The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait. She recently came back from the surgical block. She's stable. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable, but Fuller was able to save her kidney. He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
Jesus.
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back?
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out. I'll just sleep a bit more.
Yeah,
why did nobody tell me about her admission?
Survivor Sanders entered the Riverside Institute as well as the treatment administered to her. Fuller had a handwritten note. He recommended to take her down to the psychiatric wing in order to provide. God damn it.
Mrs. Sanders?
She's dead. Like, straight up, she's dead. There is no breathing there. She's gone.
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
Okay.
Hay fever. What's he doing here?
Well, fuck.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom again. And she still says nothing to that old witch, Donovan?
Oh, listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl. And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
Oh well, at least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off. It's a real show.
We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks.
Oh, fuck.
We're running out of this medicine.
I know, Doctor. We sent the purchase order, though, but Mrs. Donovan refused it.
Once again.
Can't you do anything?
Donovan takes her instructions directly from Dr. Fuller. I'm afraid I can do nothing about it for the moment.
Alright.
I can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
Well then.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Well, this is where we're going to leave off, folks. So, if you enjoy the gameplay or the commentary, give us a like. If you want to keep up with this or any of our other content, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Become part of our notification squad so you can see when we upload when we go live. But for now, this is Kitthesoulless signing off. So until next time, everybody, bye-bye! Also, it dawns on me I once again hit the wrong button. Fuck! Good night, Robert. Good night, Ramon. Good night, Johnson. Oh. Tonight is a bit of a quiet night. Anyways. Ta-ta. I hope you guys enjoyed. Num num.